Yeah, yeah.
So, but we'll get through it though.
Okay.
We're starting.
Job that is required like that. Oh, that's probably what the hell it is.
It's so bright out there. Hey, check it out. Rappers in my backyard. Rappers in my backyard. Rappers in my backyard.
I don't hear nothing now. Can you hear me?
What's up, family? Welcome to another exciting episode of Rappers in My Backyard, the podcast that stays lit. We rap about relationships, music, and entertainment. Thanks so much for tuning in today. I hope you had a great week with everything we got up against us. We still got to keep pushing. Well, you know, here at Rappers in My Backyard, we're dealing with Ruthless June, and there's no other to close it out better than our guest today. Our topic today is going to be our relationship with gangster rap and hip hop with our special guest. And also on the grill, we are going to be throwing Bill Barr, our U.S. government attorney general. I'm sorry. He just thugging in government. And our guest today and myself, we're going to talk about how he's thugging us. Also, you guys know I love starting every episode off with a quote to lay the groundwork for a provocative and an exciting conversation. So here's the quote. Damn right, I love the life I live, because I went from negative to positive. And that's from Notorious Big. And I think that sets us up nice, not only for Ruthless June, but for us to talk, express, relate, connect with our closer for Ruthless June, the one, the only BG Knockout is in the backyard. What's up?
What's up with it? What's the
What's
deal?
up? Oh my goodness,
How y'all doing?
BG.
How y'all doing? How y'all doing down in LA?
Hey man, they done locked us back down again. Folks don't want to wear their masks. They don't want to, and plus with all the protesting, I think whenever you dealing with that, you get kind of lost with the emotion. So
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that a lot of us can pull through versus not, because we showed up this time. So it would be a shame for us to show up and then we get sick.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
we need serious prayers for everybody because it's real out there. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yes, indeed.
So, BG, everybody was so upset, man, when we couldn't get together on June 7th. But I said, you know what, BG, he's coming to the backyard.
Yeah. I got sick, so I couldn't really, I don't want to be on here looking all crazy. You know what I mean? So it was just an unfortunate time for me. That's all. But yeah, I wanted to be there.
Yeah, and that's why I told him. I said we got BG on the. He's coming to finish Ruthless June. So I told him he's coming through. So here you are. So let's get started with these questions, man.
Yeah.
First of all, BG, what you been up to, man?
Just living, man. Really just living and, entrepreneurial pursuits and things like that. Me and a few friends of mine, we have like clothing and accessory stores down here. So we just been trying to build and do stuff like that and just raising the kids, really just normal shit. Yeah, normal life for the most part.
Yeah. Give me a definition of normal life. I just like to know.
It depends on who you ask. It depends on who you ask, but I mean, just your day, just what you do day to day. You know what I'm saying? Within your household, within your community, just normal. What's normal to you? What's normal? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. But man, the problem is I don't have a definition for normal right now.
Yeah, well, now it's not normal as far as what we're used to. You know what I'm saying? Because of the way the world is and lockdown, coronavirus, the government with all they shenanigans. You know, it's definitely not the norm for us. But you know, we getting through it. We gonna survive it.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
always survive. And that being said, how did Real Brothers? I know you and Drayster released Real Brothers back in 1995, but
Right.
dude, so many of those songs are prominent for what we're going through right now. Like, I would love to have 50-50 love with somebody. You know
Absolutely.
what I'm saying? So, talk
Absolutely.
to us about how that record came together.
Well, that record came together. Well, I was in county jail. Um, I think like on some tickets or something like that. And that's when my management got in touch with Greedy Greg and Ty Lewis from Outburst Records. And when I got out, you know, we talked, we had a meeting, and then I ended up signing with them and getting out of my old contract, which was under Ruthless Records slash Toenail Records, a subsidiary of Ruthless.
Okay.
And before we came over there, my brother Drayster was working on a solo album, a solo project. So most
Okay.
of those songs were already recorded, recorded songs that Drayster was already working on prior to us coming. I think to Outburst and things like that. And once we came over there, we did a few more songs. Greg and them had some producers, you know, they brought in, and we just added a couple of more songs, and we kind of just put that album together. You know what I mean? We put it
Definitely.
together, and we was trying to have it together because of the hype at the time, like the hype around my name. The Dog Pound had just dissed me on a major record called "What Would You Do?" So we was trying to catch that wave, and so we kind of just put it together, and it came out pretty cool, I think.
Yeah, I do. I still listen to that record, BG. There's a lot of heaters on there. And like I
Yeah,
said, the crazy thing about it is a lot of people really don't realize that you and Drayster are real brothers, which that was
absolutely.
the title of the album.
Hmm.
So let me ask you this. Was that beef real at the time when you and Drayster had recorded Dog Pound Killers?
Yeah, it was definitely real. But I think me and my brother, we didn't take it no realer than it being music. You understand what I'm
Okay.
saying? So
Yeah.
for us, it was more of a hip hop thing. Like, we really street dudes, and if it was like a street thing, that's what it would have been. You know what I mean? People would have
Right.
been shot and hurt and in jail and all that kind of stuff. So we didn't really take it like that, even though certain things did transpire. As people know, on the golf course when we went to Montel Jordan's video shoot and things like that. But yeah, I mean, it got real at some point, but it was really hip hop. We wasn't trying to take it no further than that.
Right, right. Thank goodness for that. And it's so funny because when Drayster was here with me, he
Uh,
talked about that he had cut off his jerry curl or something in anticipation that Death Row was going to try to come after him too, as like three guys with jerry curls or something like that. So,
yeah, my brother, he's a different breed, man. I don't know. He was fresh out of Youth Authority too, so he was kind of behind when it came to how the streets was operating at that point. You know what I mean?
right.
Yeah.
Well, that leads to the other question. Is it true that the last day the EazyE was in the studio, he was recording with you and Drayster?
Yeah, we were doing the song in response to the Dog Pound song, "What Would You Do?" We was responding with a record called Dog Pound Killer, and Eazy had 8 bars to record on that song. And while we were there, and it actually was our deadline to turn the album in, like the next day, we had to turn the record in to get mixed and mastered and stuff like that. You know,
Okay.
because Outburst and Def Jam, it was our time constraint we had to fulfill. And yeah, we were in the studio. I was there early. Eazy was in the hospital the night before, but we didn't know that. But when I got to the studio, they was like, he was in the hospital. He's coming straight from the hospital to the studio. So he finally arrived probably about an hour or two later. And when he got there were other artists from Ruthless that end up popping up. Because, the studio that Eazy and them had in Torrance, it was kind of a hangout place for us too. It was a safe haven. the people used to just come on any given day. And when he got there, people wanted to talk to him naturally. You know, people had their issues or whatever. So they had him in the hallway talking and talking. And I'm like, Eric, I've been up here, dude, for hours. We've been hearing this shit play over and over and over. I smoked all my weed. Like, you need to come and do this little 8 bar so we can go. And
Right.
and he was like, hold on, I'll be in there, you know what I mean? And I kind of gave him some time. And I went in there about 2 or 3 times. The last time I went in that hallway, he was sitting there alone, wheezing very hard.
Wow. Okay.
And I kind of like, you know, I kind of sat next to him on the ground and was, you know, asking him, is you okay, man? Like, you know, what's going on? And he had, I guess on the way from the hospital, he stopped at the pharmacy and got these inhalers. Like, I've never
Okay.
seen inhalers this big. Like, they were like literally one of them had a butt on it, like it was huge. And he got the thing out, he pumped it, and it seemed to be working for a minute. And by that time, Donovan, the sound guy, Donovan, the dirt biker, who owned Audio Achievement Studios, he
Okay.
entered the hallway. He sat down next to us. Then we were talking for a minute and talking. And then when I seen his wheezing getting worse, I went and got his bodyguards and went to the hospital. And that's when everything spiraled out of control.
Man, so that was the last time that you really had a chance to see him and talk to him, because when he was in, when he got to the hospital, he was like in a coma.
Yeah, he was in it. Well, he wasn't in a coma initially, but after a while, they did put all, you know, those tubes down his throat and his nose, and they had to use a machine to help him breathe. So he wasn't able to communicate words wise. You know, he can only communicate by writing or gesturing to people and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow. So, man, how special was your relationship with EazyE?
Man, you know, that guy, he was a special guy. Like, he, you know, he had what they call foresight. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he was ahead of his time. You know what I mean? Like, if you can imagine 1986, what the world was like in the hood, in the ghetto, this guy thinking about owning a record company, like he was thinking so far ahead of where we were, which was the hood. You know what I'm saying? And
Definitely.
once he did accomplish that goal, he was also looking to accomplish more things. So the guy was, he was an unusual, extraordinary person. You know what I'm saying? Like when it came to the way he thought. So, you know, I cherish everything. You know, he was trying to groom me. I don't know if Greg ever told you that he was trying to get me back to Ruthless. Like he wanted me back over there.
Yeah, Greg said that he did have conversations with Eazy, and he knew that Eazy wanted to get you back from, you know, on his label. So
Yeah,
how was that dynamic?
Yeah, he wanted me, you know, he used to always tell me, like every now and again, he'd come by like on the side of me, like close to my ear. And he was like, you're gonna be the next me. Like he used to always tell me that. And him and my old manager, they were pretty tight. And he used to always tell him that he was trying to groom me to take his place. He wanted me to take his position after, you know, because Eric was naturally 10 years, 11 years older than me. So I guess he was like positioning himself to transition out of music into something else. And I think he wanted me to take that seat at that, you know, at Ruthless or whatever. So, you know, stuff like that, you know, when it comes to thinking about him, man, it's like, it hurts to even think about losing the guy. You know what I'm saying? And the way I deal with it is I try not to think about it. Because that's how much it hurts. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah, but at the same time, because you knew, I mean, I think all of us knew that he was grooming you and wanted you to be a protege to him. And I know that although, like you said, I know you're dealing with it, because when you have somebody like that in your life, it's kind of hard to just erase that. Yeah. But in the same way, I do think since that was bestowed on you, you know what I'm saying, that we need a record. We need a record.
Definitely. I mean, I still got it. I still, you know, I think I came a long way when it comes to the craft of, you know, of being an artist and things like that. And my, you know, my mind has grown a hell of a lot since then. So I think I'm way more well-rounded and definitely more prepared today than ever. You know what I mean? When it comes to
Yeah,
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 definitely.
yeah. So I just got the sign that we need to go to break, BG. We're going to
Okay.
go to break for just a minute. When we get back, you guys, we are going to finish up this very important and delicate question with BG. And we're also going to be throwing on the grill the U.S. Attorney General, Bill Barr, because he's thugging and we got something to say about it. So y'all hang with us. We'll be right back. The podcast that stays lit, baby.
Right.
Hey, this is Michelle, and I'm with LisaO on Rappers in My Backyard.
Yo, what's cracking? It's your boy Chill, original Compton's Most Wanted, and I'm in the backyard chilling with the homegirl LisaO. West up.
Hey folks, this is Lonzo, the godfather of West Coast hip hop.
Okay, we
Kicking
ready?
it live in the backyard with LisaO.
Which usually let it go through 3 times? Okay. You can't hear me if I say something to him, can you?
Bone thugs in harmony, and I'm thugging in the backyard.
There's some right there. No, right in front of you. Oh, I hope that we didn't get that on there.
Yo, what's good? It's Busy Bone from Bone Thugs in Harmony, and I'm thugging it in the backyard with LisaO.
What's going on, world? It's your boy No Sense. I'm
Go
here
on whenever you're ready.
LisaO and rappers in my backyard.
Go on, listen to it.
Okay, so you gonna count me back in? BG,
Yeah.
we get ready to come back off a break, so I'm gonna introduce it and then he's gonna bring you into the screen.
Okay.
LisaO and rappers in the backyard, Compton.
What's up, family? Thanks so much for hanging with us. Man, me and BG was just running our mouths during the break. You know what I do. But we back, and I want us to follow up with this question with BG in reference to your special relationship with EazyE. I mean, like I said, I know that when that's been bestowed on you, when somebody trust you with their legacy in a sense, and they are teaching you and showing you how to do what they do, that's just a special thing. You know, a lot of us don't get that opportunity. So do you have any communication like with his kids and stuff, or the daughters? I know a lot of them.
Yeah, to a degree I do. What I did was when I came home, I put out a little solo project called EazyE's Protege.
Okay.
And the first song I released was called In My Prime, and it's kind of like my take on what happened with him, you know, his death and stuff like that, and how I felt about it. And I kind of like what I wanted, what I was mad about the whole time. You know, I was in prison for 10 years and 4 months. So when I came home, I was really disappointed that Eazy wasn't spoken of in the same vein as Tupac and Biggie and all these people. When he is the pioneer of these people looked up to him. You know, they imitated his style and his idea of doing business and things like this. So I started performing around LA, and what I think it did was it lit a spark up under his kids. You know, they started coming to the shows because he got 4 kids that do music: Little Eazy, Baby Eazy, I forgot what they call Marquise. It's Little Eazy, Baby Eazy, and E3. Okay. And then it's a girl named Riri. His daughter.
Remarkable, right?
From Atlanta. Remarkable, yeah. So so once I seen them kind of getting involved with trying to keep his legacy alive, I kind of backed up because that's what I wanted. I wanted for somebody had to take the reins to spearhead, you know, keeping his legacy alive and making sure that people knew Eric Wright, because you know there's a disconnect between generations. from ours to now. Like a lot of people don't, a lot of young kids don't know who Tupac is. A lot of young kids don't know who EazyE is. And they do music and it doesn't make sense. They do the same type of music that he originated, but they don't know who he is. So I think, you know, with his kids, you know, we started on his birthday, we started throwing a party for him every year. And during the party, we would have a showcase and his kids would perform. Everybody from Ruthless, from Above the Law to Cocaine to Stefan to Menage a Trois, all the people that was on Ruthless when he was alive, you know, they show up and show out and perform, and you know, we get together and things like that. So I have a certain type of relationship with his kids, of course. Yeah, I do. And I'm just hoping that, you know, that they'll get the momentum that they need in order to, you know, keep his legacy going, you know?
Right. And I think that you could play an integral part in that, you know, because the same guidance that you got, they need that same guidance from somebody too, to let them know.
I always try to impart that to them. Always.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's absolutely. Good stuff. Yeah. So, man, let's go to the grill. I'm ready to go to the grill. Let's throw this Bill Barr on the grill. So, man, they call us thugs, man. Our Attorney General Bill Barr, he is thugging in government like no other. Just for instance, they pushing through all these federal judges into these lifetime positions on the Supreme Court. I can't even talk. I'm so hot. On the Supreme Court. One in particular is Brett Kavanaugh. All those people came, all those women said that they raped him, he's a drunk, all this stuff, and had evidence. And somehow this dude is now on our Supreme Court to not only mess up things, but he's loyal to one person, and that's Trump. What you feel about that?
I mean, you know, you can always tell a society by its government. And if you have a violent society, if you have a drug addicted society, if you have a minuscule educated society, then that's a reflection of the government. Do you understand that? So, you know, I've always known the government, they're the biggest crooks, the biggest gangsters. You know, if you want to talk about gangster, you know, gangster rap, gangster music, or the gangster lifestyle, they're the biggest gangsters on the planet. You know, they topple governments, you know, they prop up puppet leaders. So yeah, I mean, it's not surprising to me, not one bit. Not one bit.
Yeah, and not only that, another thing is too, like, you know, President Trump, some of his boys then got in a lot of trouble, like Roger Stone. All of a sudden, they're talking about trying to drop his case. You know what I mean?
Well,
so now
know, they got the complexion for the connection. You know what I mean?
Say that again. No.
Yeah, they got the complexion for the connection, man. Like, you know, it's a buddy system up there. You know what I'm saying? Like it is in the police force, and like it is in the courthouse. You know, a favor for a favor. You know, a lot of these people are part of the same brotherhoods. You know what I'm saying? Masonic societies, all different types of things. You know what I mean? So yeah, I definitely understand. Like I know that, you know, they got a lot going on, man. Like, man, it's really ugly, man. Like it's an ugly thing, and we as citizens, we don't really have no power to really. You know, I mean, we do, but I don't think we realize the power that we have to change things. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we got to, man. And then it's just like also, you know, when they even tried to impeach President Trump, Bill Barr came in and did his interference with the Mueller report. He sort of gave a summary for it before it even came out. So when it landed, people was acting like they didn't need to read it. I mean, ain't that gangster? I mean, you know, you froze up on me on that one as far as like our connection, because that is like the most ludicrous thing that I've heard of. Yeah. You know, what did you say?
No, I'm saying this because it's been happening. I think before we were born, like if you just look at what happened with Kennedy, man, like they man, on prime time television in front of the entire world. You understand what I'm saying? So, this man, I think it might take God to come in this situation out with them. You know what I mean? Because
You breaking up a little bit. Say that line again.
I said with our government, it might take God and his angels to come down and straighten them out. I mean, because they're not gonna change. These people are not gonna change. There's protests that we do. There's no kind of noise that we can make to get people to change the way that they behave. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Unless there's a total transfer of power, like for our government and our society to change, they need to really dismantle Democrats, Republicans, the White House. They need to reshape and revamp all of those different things that we've been so used to, because it hasn't been working. It's been working only for the 1%, the rich and powerful, but it hasn't been working for us as a whole, as a country, as a society, and as a nation. So I think, all that shit needs to just get dismantled and revamped, and Islamically, this is the thing, why I love Islam so much. Islamically, we're taught that if somebody says vote for me, that's a sign that you should never vote for them. Yeah,
that's
because
a good analogy.
if somebody wants power, it comes, if somebody wants power and they vying for power, then you gotta know what's the underlying issue with them. It's an underlying agenda somewhere. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, some type of ulterior motive there. And power shouldn't be given to a person that wants it. It should be given to somebody that qualifies for it.
Yeah. That makes total sense, because when you have somebody seeking power like a Bill Barr, they're so hungry for it that they're willing to sell out to any and everybody. And that's what we got right there. And you know what, BG? We're going to end it on that note, because we burnt that up and we flipped it. And y'all got to know, we got to get these folks out of government. We're going to have to vote this time. We need to read the instructions. We need to read on how Congress was put together, because in order for us to be able to get some of the things that we need to get as far as our culture and our people and solidify our thing to move forward, we got to know what that game is. And so
I can tell you one thing right now. The way you make the way you change things in politics and government is you lobby them.
Okay.
You have to lobby the government. It's more than just voting. Voting only goes so far, but money talks and bullshit walks when it comes to them. So locally, you can get behind your local politicians and things like that. You can begin like locally in your own city, in your own state, and then from there to the White House. You know what I'm saying? But you have to lobby. You have to lobby these people, meaning that you have to put money into some politician that speaks your cause or whatever, and and keep pushing him forward through the pipeline and on down to the White House so they can go and argue your case. You know what I mean? But that's the only thing that they respect. And I think most society, we don't really realize that, because they tell us to vote. You understand what I'm saying? But we don't even really understand that process. Because they have those, what are those other votes, the electoral votes and all that shit? Like, people don't even understand how that works.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah, so I suggest to lobby your local government and your state government first. That's what I suggest.
All right, man. That sounds like a plan. And let's get Bill Barr moving out of our lives and put our minds on getting these fools out of office so that we can move forward. So we sizzled that. Thanks for that, BG. So let's get back to these questions. So since we just got done talking about Gangsta with Bill Barr, in your opinion, what would you say our relationship is with gangster rap and hip hop?
Our relationship
right now?
right now, sheesh. I mean, it looked like we're on a respirator right now. If you ask me, because sonically, music has changed sonically. You know what I'm saying? From just the way it sounds. Like everything is so synthesized now, and gangster rap doesn't come from that sound. You understand what I'm
Right.
saying? And
Right.
they might call that gangster rap. It might be gangster to them, because of the era that they come from. You understand what I'm saying? But I think gangster rap is like on a respirator, I'm really appreciative of the people that we do have around, like the Kendrick Lamar, who's a West Coast artist and is out there on a major stage, and he kind of keeps it pure. He keeps it, he's doing the new thing too, but he keeps a lot of his artistry pure West Coast and pure street, like we like it. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's like one of the great hopes that we have right now. You know what I'm saying? Because the fact that he's there, that means there's still a lane for it. We just have to figure out how to bring it up to par with the sound of today, and to where it'll go over well with people. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting on that. Like I'm waiting on somebody to to come in and fill that gap.
Yeah, definitely. Who's the closest artist we have to gangster rap outside of Kendrick Lamar, like with the up and comers that we have right now?
We have youngsters, man. Like I have a little homeboy named Geechee Gotti that is so dope. He's coming through the battle rap scene. So most battle rappers, they start on that platform, but they also artists too. So he's coming through that scene. I think he's a hopeful person that we have. We have the little guy Compton AV. I don't know if you guys are aware of him.
Yeah, I heard of him.
And then you still have me, and you still have Drayster. It's some of us still around. The Dogg Pound is still around. Snoop Dogg is still around. I think we just have to really. I think what we have to do as West Coast people is we have to unify more. We have to unify more because the South has a hold on music, period. They have the, it's their dialogue. Most music that we hear today is a Southern dialogue.
Yeah.
Our dialect. You know what I'm saying? The way they pronounce words and the way they say things. And our kids are used to hearing music on that level. So I think when it comes to the West, I think we have to unify in order to make more noise. You know what I'm saying? In order to be heard. Like, because these other people are drowning us out, because they have it in a chokehold right now.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. And I would have to agree with the fact that the West Coast needs to unify more. I'm from back east, so we rally together and support each other. I've just seen a different lifestyle out here on the West Coast. I don't want to say everybody's for self, but I don't want to say everybody's together either. So I've been out here a long time, and I know for me, I started out as a solo artist. I will never think of being in any type of group unless I'm with my brother, of course, like what you had with yours. But here it just seems like solo, and nobody's really trying to like help and connect like what we need.
I mean,
and it's sad.
Our society, we come from, we got a lot of shit in us that we need to clean out. You know what I'm saying? And selfishness being one of them. Ego is plays a big part in how we are on the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? And we got to get rid of certain things in order for us to really see the light and see the truth. Because I think we all desire the same thing. We have different ideas about how to accomplish it. And most of it starts with self. Like we gotta, we live in an iPhone, iPad. Everything is about I, me, and that's a selfish thing. And I think once we clear some of those things out, then we'll see a lot more unity and working with each other and trying to build with each other. Like, but as long as we only thinking about ourselves, then we're gonna stay in this predicament.
Facts. And you know what? I've asked a lot of people that question in terms of why West Coast rappers don't help each other, and nobody said the real deal besides you. You know what I'm saying? Ego.
Yeah.
Jealousy, because everybody that I've asked that question, and we 26 eps in, they're like, oh, well, I don't think it's that. No, yes, it is that.
It's that for sure. It's
It's
that for
that for
sure.
sure. It's
Yeah.
just like all these people that I know in this business, that Greedy Greg know, that that we didn't got down with. It's like pulling teeth to get them to do one thing for you.
Right,
It's
right,
like,
right.
really, dude? If I
Right.
was back east right now, and I'm saying this, and I mean this, if I was back east right now, do you know how many rappers that I would have been able to get on the show without fail, without issue, without ego or problems?
Right, right.
It's like I'm out here thugging to get
Yeah.
people to come on my show because they didn't already ate off of us and they ready to go.
Yeah.
Come on
Yeah,
now.
it's sad. It's a sad situation, and it's like we have a lot of growing to do. I always tell people being mature is in every aspect. It's not just because you can hold down a job, you can pay your bills, and you can pay for things. You have to be mature in your attitude, the way you see things, the way you handle
Right.
situations and problems and things that arise in your life. You have to be an adult all the way around, not just in these aspects. And I think we have a lot of more growing to do, man, and people have to get out of their own way. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep. Get out of your own way. And that sets us up nicely for the next question. Can you define for me what is a studio gangsta?
Well, studio gangster is exactly what Eazy said back in the day.
What did
It's
he
somebody. He said basically a studio gangster is somebody that doesn't come from the street, but they go inside the studio and they put on this persona, through the music, that they're all these things that they're rapping about.
Right.
But it's not in them. So it's somebody. It's a character. A studio gangster is basically somebody that takes on the characteristic of being a gangster, but it's not in their heart. They didn't live it, they didn't breathe it, they didn't sleep it, but they can rap about it. You understand what I'm saying? So that's
No.
pretty much what it is.
Did you hear me? No, I don't
Yeah.
understand that. But
No,
yeah,
but I understand that. Yeah, you funny as hell.
Well, when me and you be able to get together, man, we gonna spit the real. We don't care. Like we got people watching us right now, but as far as I'm concerned, it's me and you. You know what I mean? So, BG, let me ask you this question too, because I asked this to all the guests on the show. Do you have a relationship, either, it could be not in music and entertainment, that you would like to mend, and why?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. One of my youngest sons, my son, I think he's 22 now, but me and him we haven't been seeing eye to eye and within like the last year or whatever. And it's because he was trying to gangbang and I was trying to prevent him from that. And I'm kind of extreme as a dad when it comes to the lengths I would go to prevent you from doing the same dumb shit that I did. So I said something very extreme that kind of really hurt my son, to where we haven't really spoken in over a year, since like last New Year's or something like that. Wow. And I would like to mend that, because that's my child and I only want the best for him. And I think that, I apologize to him and I'll apologize again, like, son, I love you. And I really didn't mean what I said in the way that he took it, but I understand how he perceived it in the way he took it, because he's young and he just, young people take things different. You know what I mean? So for the sake of him being my child, and for the sake of me being his dad, I would like to mend that relationship. Absolutely.
Great. And so you're working towards doing that. You already apologized. So the next piece is just being present and giving.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm trying to let him come around too, because he's a young adult now. You know what I mean? And he might need his time to come around and come through. So I pray about it a lot, and I reach out. I keep reaching out and I pray about it, and I talk to his mom to get her to talk to him and things like that. So yeah, hopefully, we'll get back on track.
Yeah, I know you will, because you ain't gonna give up. You don't do that.
Nah, I don't know how. I don't know how to give up. Yeah.
Yep, I don't either, man. And that lets us sets us up nicely for how did you get in my backyard, BG?
Man, you invited me. I don't go nowhere I'm not wanted. So, if you invite me, I'm coming. You know what I
Right,
mean? Yeah.
right. But I'm talking about the Greedy Greg piece because you was in my yard before I got back here.
Well, Greg and them, that's family, man. From the day that we met, it's been just like that. Greg invited us into his home. You know what I mean? So I take things like that very serious. You don't just invite people into your house. You know what I mean? So I cherish that relationship that we have with him. Even though we ain't seen each other and been around each other in a long time, we still family, and that's gonna always be that.
That's good stuff, man. We love you here in this backyard, BG.
And
We
it's
listen to
likewise,
your music and we always rooting for you. You know that. So
for sure.
let's let our audience know how they can follow your movement because we know you about to do some really cool stuff and we want to be able to follow it. So
Well,
give us
mainly,
all your info.
I'm really only on Instagram. BG Knockout, B.G. Knockout with 2 C's. You can find everything about me on Instagram for sure. And
Okay.
that's really my only social media, to be honest. I have a Twitter, but I don't really interact on that because Twitter have become like a spam. Like it's like spam like all day on Twitter. So I don't like stuff like that. So I only
Yeah.
use Instagram. You know what I mean? So BG Knockout on Instagram. It's a verified page and people can follow me there.
Right. And you got a fan page too. Because I
Yeah, I
seen
have a
that
fan
too on
page too.
Instagram.
I'm trying to. I allowed some little German kids to open that page for me, and we're kind of
Okay.
at odds right now. So I don't really have total control of that, but it is my page too. Yes, BG
Okay. Good
Knockout. Yeah,
stuff.
on Facebook. Yeah,
Well, you know what, BG? I appreciate you sitting with us today and having this conversation and
for sure.
also being my wingman. You
Yes,
know what I'm saying? For Ruthless June. I can't think of a better person to close Ruthless June down than someone that was a protege, someone that still thinks about EazyE because EazyE
absolutely,
did a lot for the West Coast, man, and we can't let his memory die. We
at
can't
all.
let all this confusion and misunderstanding get in the way of our extreme love for this thing we call hip hop. So thank
Absolutely,
you so much for everything, man. We love you, and you're coming to the backyard. You
absolutely.
know
I'll
what
be
I
there.
mean?
I'll
You
be there
got
for
to come
sure.
to the backyard. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, I will. I will. I'll
So
be there
we love
soon
you, BG, and thank you so much for everything, man.
for sure.
And
Likewise.
yeah, yeah. So you guys, thanks so much for tuning in, man. We had such a great time with BG Knockout, man. And it's like y'all know what y'all get when y'all tune in to Rappers in My Backyard. You know we are the podcast that stays lit. Make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell. That's how you're going to find out when we get heaters like BG Knockout, Drayster. We done had Busy Bone up in here. So y'all need to tune in and hit that bell, man, because we rising and we running and we doing this thing. Also, make sure you tune into our website, Rappers in My Backyard. We got new stuff happening there. We got a newsletter. So y'all get with it because we staying with it. And also, I can't wait until next week. But let me hit y'all with this quote. Damn right, I love the life I live because I went from negative to positive. And that's from Notorious Big. And like I said, next Sunday, you guys, let's talk, express, relate, connect. I love you guys, and we love BG Knockout. Take it easy, family. I'll see you in 2 and 2. We out.
Peace.
Always love, family. All right, BG. We wanted
All
to
right, for
get
sure.
up. How we going to get? Oh,
We rap about relationships, entertainment, and music. You heard?